Hi, we're coming from Curious Volumes. My name is James. It's Thursday or Poetry Thursday, and in the month of whatever month we're in, the Lone Star Book Club, started by Randy Ray, the literate Texan, is reading Shakespeare's sonnets, and I've decided to join them on that endeavor. I read through the sonnets about 2 years ago, spring about 2 years ago. It was before I had a booktube channel, but I was reading through all of Shakespeare, including the sonnets, the poems, and the plays. There's probably a few things that I did not read, but in any event, it was a lot of fun, and I at that time I would read one or two sonnets a day, and I would read a play every. It usually took me 2 evenings to get through because I'm not that fast. But there you go. So I'm going to read a couple of them to you, and they're not especially famous ones because I'm just reading the next ones that I haven't read yet. So that's going to be right now Shakespeare's sonnet number 5. Those hours that with gentle work did frame the lovely gaze where every eye doth dwell will play the tyrants to the very same, and that unfair which fairly doth excel. For never-resting time leads summer on to hideous winter, and confounds him there, sap checked with frost and lusty leaves quite gone, beauty o'ersnowed and bareness everywhere. Then, where not summer's distillation left, a liquid prisoner pent in walls of glass, beauty's effect with beauty were bereft, nor it, nor no remembrance what it was, but flowers distilled, though they with winter meet. These but their show, their substance still lives sweet. Now, this is lease but their show, it means lose, but their show, their substance still lives sweet. So, is this one of his better ones? I'm going to say, not really. But, if you are familiar with the sonnets, you know that the first at least several dozen are kind of all circling the same theme, which is he is addressing a very good-looking young man, a very attractive, virile, strong young man. And the speaker, Shakespeare, who knows, the speaker is encouraging him to procreate, to have kids, and not wait around, and not waste your time being vain, and not be worried about to be worried about wasting your time and not leaving any kind of air. There's a number of different ways that he addresses this. It just seems to keep going on and on. And if you know the plays, you know that there's a lot of passages where he'll kind of explore the same thought from using different similes, different metaphors again and again and again. And partly that's, I think it's his virtuosity, is his verbal dexterity, his breadth of knowledge that he just wants to show you. Yeah, I can spin out another one. Oh, you think that was good? Here's another one. But also, the context of the plays, how they were performed on a stage with no amplification, and a crowd of people of different levels of education, different levels of sophistication, to use a phrase that's been much bandied about lately, saying the same thing, conveying the same idea over and over in many different ways is useful for the audience, if you want the audience to understand the plot, right? Because they may be distracted by buying a roast capon or a flagon of sack, right? And they missed part of the speech, right? So if the actors are kind of reiterating things in different ways. And that, I think, it very much translates into some of these early sonnets. So let's look at number 6. Then, right? See, it starts then, like he's just continuing on from from the previous thing. Then let not winter's ragged, so he's still talking about winter. Okay, I'm going to stop. Then let not winter's ragged hand deface in thee thy summer, ere thou be distilled. Make some sweet vial, treasure thou some place, with beauty's treasure, ere it be self-killed. That use is not forbidden usury, which happies those that pay the willing loan. That for thyself to breed another thee, or procreate. That's for thyself to breed another thee, or 10 times happier, be it 10 for 1. 10 times thyself were happier than thou art, if 10 of thine 10 times refigured thee. Then, I'm not sure how his math works out. Then what could death do if thou shouldst depart, leaving thee living in posterity? Be not self-willed, for thou art much too fair to be death's conquest and make worms thine heir. Right, so give us a bunch of kids so that, your studliness can live on. Our grandkids can admire your beauty in the form of your descendants, right? Don't just go into the grave a barren, right? I don't know what this does for you. It's certainly beautiful and powerful and inventive. It's not the high-flying romance that we think of in his most famous sonnet, shall I compare thee to a summer's day, and or let me not to the marriage of true minds and impediments, right? It's not like that. It's kind of, it becomes hectoring after a while, and he uses this metaphor of usury. Already he's used that a couple of times, and he'll go through, if I remember right, he'll go through all kinds of different metaphors from the natural world, mostly having to do with rotting and decay or the change of seasons and whatnot. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it with those two. That's sonnet number 5 and number 6 from William Shakespeare. But check these out. They're if you haven't read them, it takes some getting used to. Get yourself a good annotated edition like this Ardent edition, or the probably a good deal less money, and just as good for most people is the Folger Shakespeare Library puts out an edition of the sonnets. Get one of those. Join us in the Lone Star Book Club and read Shakespeare's sonnets. I'm gonna put a link to the text of these below, and let me know. Do you like the Shakespeare sonnets? If you're reading them in order, are you just waiting for the Dark Lady to come, or who do you think WH is? Do you care? I don't especially. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.